Assalamu alaikum, gorgeous. Welcome back to this episode of the Rosalind Batul Show. And I want to talk about emotions. So I know you've been feeling down lately. You've been feeling like things are not going your way, and a lot of the worries are piling up, and you just don't know how to process them. Like you're feeling like regret over some decisions that you've made in the past, and you often wonder if you didn't have or make those decisions, would you be where you are right now, worrying or stressing about certain things in your life? Maybe finances, maybe your career, maybe it's your health, maybe it's just where to live. Everything seems like it's piling up. And I want to help you unpack that. You're probably blaming yourself a lot. You're blaming your circumstances on yourself, and you're being very hard on yourself. And the reason why you're doing this is so that you don't process your emotions, so that you don't sit with the emotion that's underneath all that blame. And what's really underneath all that blame is a lot of sadness. Underneath that blame is a little girl who feels misunderstood. She feels like she doesn't belong in this world, like she wasn't meant to be here. There's a little girl who feels like everyone's committed to misunderstanding her. Everyone is just committed to always twisting her words and blaming her. So that blame comes from a childhood programming. You've learned to blame yourself because either your parents, society, school blamed you when you didn't conform to certain ideals. So really underneath all that blame that you're doing right now is pure sadness. Now, because you weren't given the tools to unpack that sadness, right when the blame was happening, no one said to you, listen, hey, you are so special. You are amazing. You are good enough and beautiful, but the action you're displaying isn't what I want. Or the behavior you're displaying isn't good. Like instead of telling you, I love you, but this isn't right, or when you do this, it makes me feel this way. Instead, what happened is the finger was pointed and you felt unworthy, undeserving, and not good enough. And that's why you find it very difficult to deal with those challenges, to deal with change, to deal with decision making. You find it very difficult to deal with the ever changing tides of being a human being. Life comes in seasons, and you find it difficult to transition between those seasons because a lot of these emotions come up. No one ever taught you how to manage your emotions. And it's not your fault. I want to let you know it's not your fault. You're not to blame. If there's anything you can take away from this podcast, it's not your fault. And I want you to get really good at telling yourself that. But it is your responsibility to become a better person, to become better than your parents towards yourself. It is your responsibility to unpack your woundings, your traumas, your coping mechanisms that are harming you. Because you know what happens when you suppress all these emotions? You disassociate. So maybe you find yourself like after having a shower, you just stay in your towel. And like it takes a long time for you to change your clothes. Or you are aimlessly, mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, and you could do it all day long. And there's no part of you that feels guilty, or you feel like, okay, I should be doing something else. Even though those thoughts do come to your mind, you're just like, whatever, I don't care. Anything is better than me dealing with my emotions. Or you find it difficult to make conversation with your friends. Like you want to isolate. Suppressing your emotions will only amplify your coping mechanisms. Because those coping mechanisms helped you survive your childhood, they are not meant to make you survive adulthood. You are meant to thrive. The whole point of childhood is like, I want you to imagine childhood is the curriculum that you learn in order for you to become an adult. But if that curriculum was built upon beliefs such as you're not good enough, you're not lovable, you're unimportant, you're not special, you're undeserving, unworthy, all these negative, disempowering beliefs, that's the curriculum you've been handed. But it doesn't mean that's a curriculum you have to stick with. Like, have you ever been to university and you're like, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in this degree. I don't want to master this. I want to change subjects. I want to change my career path. That's you changing your curriculum. That's you changing your belief system. And it's as easy as that. And I know people make it so difficult and they give you like 1,000 tools to help you overcome certain coping mechanisms. But I want to let you know that it's just as easy as making a decision. You know, when you suppress your emotions and you suppress all that sadness and you say to yourself that it doesn't matter, or you feel numb and you refuse to just dig within and just sit with the feeling and let yourself cry. When you refuse to do that, really what's happening is you're refusing to make a decision. You're refusing to change. The decision you want to have that you have to make is to change the behavior, to change that coping mechanism, to choose a different mechanism that's going to help you become your real self, your true self, that's going to help you fulfill your potential. Now, I know a lot of us say fulfilling your potential, and it may kind of like overwhelm you and make you feel a little bit anxious because you think to yourself, oh my God, am I wasting my potential? Like, what is my potential? Because everyone out here is so successful, making money, living in penthouses. Like, I'm not fulfilling my potential. Fulfilling your potential means being as much of yourself as possible. That's it. Your whole purpose on earth is to worship God and to fulfill your truest self. Be your truest self to the maximum capacity, to the maximum you can ever take it. It's like, I want you to imagine you're turning the dial, you're turning the volume, and you're meant to be as loud as possible. You're meant to be as bold as possible, as confident as you can take it, as loud as you can take it, as boisterous as you can take it, as beautiful, as elegant, as feminine as you can take it. And for people, for every single person, for me it's different, for you it's different. Everyone has a different temperament. And this is a thing, when you are suppressing your emotions, you will find it difficult to figure out who you are because you're too busy comparing yourself. And then this is what happens. You compare yourself to other women. You try to act like them for a little while. And then you say to yourself, I can't put up this act anymore. And then you go back to your old patterns, your coping mechanisms, isolating yourself, feeling like not good enough because you haven't dealt with the undercurrent, the underlying emotion. You haven't dealt with the sadness. You haven't dealt with the coping mechanisms. You haven't gone deep enough. Yeah, you've done the journaling, you've done some affirming, you've done the scripting, you've done the vision board, and yes, it's helping you stay focused. Maybe it's helping you come back to reality when you take it too far. But you still need to deal with the emotion. All these tools that you're doing, this journaling, affirming that you're doing is great when you deal with the underlying emotion. And that underlying emotion is the sadness. So I want us to do an exercise today. So trigger warning, before we get started, you may find yourself wanting to cry, or you may have emotions come up that you haven't really thought of before. And I want to let you know that this is all normal. You have the ability, you have the strength, you have the power to overcome these emotions, ride the wave, and be okay. So I want you to trust yourself in this process. I'm giving you the permission to really trust yourself to process these emotions, okay? So I want you to get relaxed. You can sit back, have your back supported, put your arms on your hands on your lap, and just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to take a deep breath in, all the way in. Fill up your lungs, breathe out. Take another deep breath in, all the way in, breathe out. One more time, take a deep, relaxing breath in, all the way in, breathe out. And as you breathe out, you can feel your body relaxing. You are enjoying this relaxing feeling. Just let yourself relax now. And as you relax, I want you to just fall gently inside your body. Just imagine you are falling inside of your body. You are inside your body now. And now I want you just to think of a emotion, something that you've been worrying about, something that's been on your mind for a while and you've been suppressing it. Just bring that to the forefront of your mind. Imagine you are watching yourself worry about this particular thing on a screen. And now I just want you to feel that emotion. I want you to feel deeply what you're really worried about. And as you're feeling this worry, I want you to locate it in your body. And you're very good at this. You're very good at locating the feeling in your body. And it may feel like sadness, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry. You are very good at identifying your emotions. And as you sit with this feeling, I just want you to put your hand where that feeling is on that part of your body. And as you put your hand there, you can feel the warmth of your hand warming up that part of your body. And now I want you to express it. I want you to start with, I feel. I feel. Finish that sentence. And as you're finishing that sentence, just let the emotion overcome you. Let that emotion just rise up in your throat. And now it feels like your throat is tightening. And it feels like you want to cry, or you want to scream, or you want to get angry. Let the emotion just come up and be felt. I want you to feel the emotion, whatever emotion it is that you're feeling. Just feel it without judging it. And as you're feeling it, let yourself release it. And you can ask yourself the question, how do you want to be released? You can ask the emotion, how do you want to be released? Then just let yourself let it go. Feel yourself letting go of that emotion. And now I want you to ask yourself, what do you need? Say your name. What do you need? And let an image come to your mind or a thought. And it doesn't matter if you can't fulfill that need right now. If you need to go for a walk, get a massage, or you need something that you can't give to yourself right now, I just want you to imagine that you've given yourself what you need. If you need a hug, just hug yourself. If you need to talk to yourself and give yourself some words of praise, do that. This is a time for you to give yourself exactly what you need without judging it, without feeling awkward, without feeling weird. And you're very good at this. You're very good at giving yourself what you need. And as you give yourself what you need, I want you to smile. I want you to feel fulfilled, satisfied, like you just had a really good meal. Let that feeling of satisfaction just penetrate that part of your body that was feeling the anxiety or the worry. Imagine it's filling up that wound, that feeling, that emotion with satisfaction, as if you just eaten a very healthy meal and you feel so satisfied. Allow that feeling just to overcome you, that feeling of pure satisfaction, that feeling of pure fulfillment, peace, happiness, joy, contentment. Let that feeling overcome you. Just let it tingle you all over. Just let your body tingle all over as you feel satisfied with this emotion. And now I want you to thank yourself. I want you to say to yourself, thank you for giving me this time. Thank you for helping me process. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and slowly come back to the room. Now, I love doing this exercise. In fact, this is like one of the exercises that I was doing in the beginning when I couldn't identify the emotion and I would disassociate. Now, what I want you to do is write a list of what you do when you're disassociating. So, for example, when I disassociate, when I have like something going on in my mind and I don't want to deal with the emotion, I find myself scrolling through social media. Now, me personally, I can't handle being on social media for longer than 30 minutes a day. Like, honestly, before I was like on social media a lot more, but I can't handle it. It genuinely makes me feel kind of sick, like, because I'm seeing so many feeds and people on my For You page and so much information is that my brain can't process all of that. So I genuinely feel sick. And I know when I'm at my limit, when I have that sickly feeling, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And that's usually around the 30-minute mark. But when I start scrolling through TikTok aimlessly, like I don't get that sickly feeling, I know I'm disassociated because I'm not dealing with a specific emotion that I'm trying to push down. Or there's nothing that I do, which might be TMI, but we're girlies here, so it's fine. I'll get a hairpin. You know the hairpins that you put in your hair, like the bobby pins, and I will poke that in my ear. I don't know why. I've been doing this for a long time, but that's another sign that I'm like some people, it's like some people pick their skin, I pick my ear inside my ear canal. It is so funny. But I'm like, oh my God, Rose, you're disassociating. What's happening, girl? And this is what I do now, because I've gotten so used to identifying my emotions. I sometimes do the exercise that we just did now, but most of the time I'm just like, hey, Rose, what's going on here, girl? What happened? What are we avoiding? Let's talk, let's chat. You know what I do? I have like a little tea party with myself. I imagine I get some nice teacups, I sit down, pour myself some tea, and then I talk to myself. And I ask myself in a like very calm, girly way, just like a very like not too much in your face kind of way. I just say, hey girl, what's going on? Like I'm really curious. I get really curious with myself. And I found that for me, this has become such a much more better process. And for me just to be like happy-go-lucky and identify my emotion. And I found that when I do this, that it actually helps me process the emotion quicker. But if you're not used to identifying your emotions, or you don't know when you disassociate, the exercise we just did is such a perfect way for you to identify the emotion and release it. And I want you to remember that you are so good at suppressing the pain, but the pain needs to be felt. Like you are the person in your generation that is meant to feel all the pain of past generations that refuse to be felt. Like in your ancestry, in your lineage, you had a lot of pain that wasn't felt, that wasn't heard, that wasn't seen. It was just suppressed until you were born. And Allah gave you this gift to feel. Allah gave you the gift to feel all the pain from generations ago up until now and to feel your own pain. And I want you to understand that feeling pain is such a beautiful gift because pain it has a purpose. It's meant to teach you a lesson. It's meant to help you overcome something. I want you to understand that the pain you're feeling isn't long lasting. The only reason why it will last for so long is because you are refusing to feel it. That's the purpose of pain, to be felt so that you can grow, so that you can expand, so that you can fulfill your potential. When I say fulfill your potential again, I mean in the sense of you can truly become who you really are. You can really like live all parts of you without having to suppress parts of you because you think people might not get you, or to just act like someone you're not. That's because of pain. So I really want you to accept, and I really want you to come to this conclusion that whatever you are avoiding can be resolved. It can be felt, it can be processed, and you have the power to do that. And you have so much strength and courage, and you have all the ability in the world to process your emotions and come out the other side a better, healthier, more fulfilled woman. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Let me know in the comments how that exercise was. I really love reading your comments. So I want to know how that exercise was for you. And I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.